What is up, Scentsy fans? It's Patricia, and welcome to another week of Tester Tuesday, a spot where I get Scentsy reviews out to you every week for many years. Anyway, let's get into the scents. We have a controversial scent that I've been avoiding for years, and we have a scent that is currently available right now. So let's get started. All right, let's talk about our mystery scent for the week. It came in first place. When that happens, I spin the wheel, and guess what it landed on? It landed on weathered leather. So I don't have a bar of weathered leather, but I have quite a few testers, 9 in total. Some are probably before 2015, and the other ones are probably around that time frame because some have old packaging and some have the newer packaging. So this is a brown colored wax. It's the color that you can see on the roughly here. And I would say on cold snip, it's between medium and medium plus. It's in the woods category and it is currently available. So I think when I first became a consultant, I put out some videos kind of getting my feet wet, and I warmed one tester this size of weathered leather. And I could stand it for 10 hours and then I had to take it out. It just wasn't for me. I've never ordered a bar. I've never warmed it since then. I've been avoiding it. And in Tester Tuesday, sometimes people are laughing when they vote for weathered leather because they know I've been avoiding it. Now, I do really like sheer leather, which has a touch of leather, and I love vanilla oud, which has kind of a sophisticated, sweet, woodsy vanilla leather. So there are some leathers I like. I'm just not crazy about weathered leather, but I'm going to give you a well-rounded review this week because I have a secret weapon. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, step into an old-fashioned saddle shop brimming with dark suede and tooled leather over a backdrop of oak. So we have suede, it's dark suede. We have tooled leather, and we have oak, which I'm not a big fan of oak, believe it or not. So let's talk about the family rating because my husband's response to this scent is a great review. So we'll start with my daughter. She said 6 out of 10, and I was shocked. And I said, do you like it enough to put it in your room? And she said no. Ryan also said 6 out of 10. So I gave my husband one of the testers to smell, and he said, this smells like leather. It smells like boots. I like it. He said, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, which is a really high mark for him. I think the highest he's given anything was a 9, and I was shocked because years ago he had a car bar in weathered leather, and he put it in his truck, and later when I got into the car, I could smell weathered leather, which I didn't really care for. But I said, where's your car bar? He goes, I had to bury it in the console under a bunch of papers because it was just so strong. So he probably left it buried for maybe a month, I think. And then he brought it out and used it when it was at a more subdued level. All right, so then he said, I can still smell it on my fingers because he touched the wax by mistake. And he said, you know what? I think I smelled this when I came home the other day, or today, or whatever day. I started on a Friday, so I'm asking him this on Saturday. So I said, yes, I think you did. He goes, you don't like it? I said, no. He goes, I think you should ask your viewers. He said, call to all rugged husbands to ask them to smell the scent and see what they think. He goes, because I feel like it speaks to rugged men. Now, it's funny. My friend Shannon loves weathered leather, and we always tease about how I don't like it. She did mention a mix, which I will talk about here in a second. But my husband said, you know who this would really do well with? He goes, biker gangs. So I said to myself, I know Scentsy's talking about reaching out to new customers. Perhaps they want us to reach out to a biker gang. I doubt it, but yeah. So that's kind of a great nutshell of how the scent goes. It is very much a leather scent. Lisa Robert always comments that she used to work at some men's workshop, and it reminds her of like the leather belts and the leather shoes and the boots and all that. And it makes me think of an episode from The Pioneer Woman where they were going to pick out, I think they were going to pick out a birthday or Father's Day gift for Lad, which is her husband. And I think they got him those like chap things that they wear in cattle rancher life, which is all leather. So yeah, that's what it makes me think of. Now, we'll talk about performance and we'll talk about what happened while I warmed it. So what I did was on Friday, because I got off to a late start some weeks, Friday I took the equivalent of 1 cube, which is roughly 3 mini warmers. All these mini warmers had shrunken in size, so I'm not sure what that means. Did some of the oil evaporate? I don't know. It was still pretty strong, between 7 and 8 for the 1 cube in the beehive warmer in the storage room. And just didn't really like it. I removed it after 2 days. The first day it was very strong because I could smell it once I got home from work. I purposely did that. I put it in at 7. I leave for work around 9:15, so I smelled it before I left and then I let it go. And then I came back. It was still fairly strong in the room. Day 2, it was maybe even less than half the strength. All right. So after getting all my family to smell it, I thought I'm gonna take one for the team, because my friend Shannon and I also joked. I said, her husband hates this scent, and I said, so if you put it in your bedroom, does it act like husband repellent? She said, probably. So I thought, well, this is gonna act like Patricia repellent because I'm not gonna wanna go in here. So I put the equivalent of 4 cubes, 2 here roughly, and 2 in the bathroom, and I did what I normally did and I let it go. It was very, very strong. I would say between 8 and 9. It had no problems with performance. Now, at one point I went into the bathroom and I literally gagged and choked. Like, it was so bad. And I said to my husband that day, I said, I can't go into the bedroom and lay down and watch any videos because I just can't go in there. So he went in here and laid down. He came in and he goes, oh, a biker gang must have been in here. And he's really focused on that. But so I went and laid on the sofa. Now, I could lay down late in the evening on the first day, so I did sleep in here. And on the second day, it was very gentle. I would say maybe 3 to 4 out of 10. So I could tolerate being in here quite a bit. But if you're someone like me and doesn't like weathered leather, what you could do is you could take some wax and mix it with an apple scent. That's what my friend Shannon said. I think she said specifically Johnny Appleseed. So I took 1 cube of Johnny and I mixed it with roughly half a cube of weathered leather. And it did much better that way. There was times where I could really smell the weathered leather, but there was times where mostly I smelled apple. So one other fun fact before we leave, because I've kind of bashed this scent for like 7 minutes. When I'm putting an order in for customers and something is coming up, but I need a placeholder so I can kind of see if we're getting close to free shipping or whatever. Say if somebody wants a 6-pack of bars and they're all new scents that are coming, what I would do is put a 6-pack of weathered leather, because I know I'd never order that. So anytime I see weathered leather, I know I got to remove it and change it to something else right as the order hits. So yes, will I repurchase this? No. Am I happy to finally have cleared these out of my stash after all these years? Yes. So thanks to the mystery wheel, we had an interesting mystery scent, and it is weathered leather. It did leave the catalog for 1 catalog season and there was an uproar, so I think it's been in the catalog ever since. But I think it has its target audience, just not me. All right, let's talk about our second place scent for the week. It is Hydrangea Bouquet. This one had 26% of the vote. It's this pretty delicate blue colored wax. It's part of the Garden Bundle 2025 that is linked to Epcot. So this I would put in the floral category, but my husband actually said he thought it was fruity. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, a showy bouquet of hydrangea and pink freesia makes a sweet homage to the best of the bunch. So this one to me smells almost like a sweet heart candy scent plus blue hyacinth, or something like a pretty natural floral plus a sweetness of candy. Maybe my husband thought a sweetness of fruit. He said, I like this one. It smells fruity. You caught me in a good mood. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. So that was nice. Ryan gave this 7 out of 10. Erica gave it 7 out of 10. And Ryan said, ooh, that's really nice, and gave it 9 out of 10. And on cold sniff, I would say 9 out of 10 as well, but it's very, very light for me. So I was a little bit concerned. So, let's talk about performance. I put 3 cubes in the kids' bedroom, and I put 2 cubes in the kids' bathroom. 3 cubes in the boys' room, sorry. Now, the boys' room does very well with scents. This one, at most, was between 6 and 6.5. Actually, in both places, I warmed it. And I could smell it well for the first maybe 3/4 of the day, and then it started to drop. And I do leave my warmers going overnight, and in the morning, I just found it was very negligible in terms of scent in both spots. So I waited a bit in case I was nose blind, because sometimes in the morning my nose might be a little wonky, but no, I couldn't really smell it, so I changed it after a day. And I was somewhat disappointed, to say the least, in performance. And maybe it's just me, and maybe the wax will do better with time, but I don't know if I'm going to chance it. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of maybe if you took the scent Courage or something sweet and pretty and mixed it with a floral, something nice and pleasant like Blue Hyacinth. And then you took that scent and you dialed it down in intensity. And that's kind of what I get. I would stick to small spaces if you're going to use this, and expect, if your performance is like me, expect you're probably going to get at most a day from this. Will I repurchase this one? Unfortunately, unless I hear people get dramatically better results after time has passed, I probably won't take another chance. I was just disappointed, and again, crumbly wax didn't really like the way this removed from the warmers. So not a repurchase, but beautiful. It is Hydrangea Bouquet. All right, let's move to the portion of the video where I'm going to present to you 6 scents, and you guys are going to vote. If you're new to my channel, you pick 2 different scents by early Wednesday morning. Put them down in the YouTube comment section. And if you can't do that, you can find my Instagram post under the same name and put your 2 votes there. Now, I placed a party closeout order on, I believe, April 26th or 25th. I'm not sure. It was a Saturday. And those have not even gone to printed status. So as I film the video, I still don't even have my Mother's Day bars or the Puddles and Petals bars. But what we're going to do is we are going to chance that I'm going to get them. And if we don't get them, I will draw 2 mystery from the wheel. And then we will do the other ones the following week. So for scent number 1, we're going to actually focus on the Mother's Day wax first, because mothers are more important than puddles, right? So we have scent number 1 is Blue Water and Sea Salt. Scent number 2 is Strawberries and Sunshine. And scent number 3 is Vanilla Rose, all from the Mother's Day, and I actually have smelled those at World Tour. Now, the next 3 are from the Puddles and Petals collection, and there's actually 4 in that collection, but the last one we're going to leave for another week. So scent number 4 is Coastal Rain Cove. Scent number 5 is Quaint Country Rain. And scent number 6 is Rugged Mountain Rain. If you want to abbreviate any of those for your sake of typing, feel free, because I know they all have rain in the notes. So thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. I hope you have a great day in your neck of the woods. Don't forget to vote, and I'll see you guys in the next video.